drawing the belly down to the mat, head comes up, moving it in the opposite direction, arching, letting the head hang heavy. Try to incorporate a few rocks forward and back as you do this, finding that point of tension and trying to iron it out. Just creating some movement through the spine for the morning. Let's do a few circles of the hips around in one direction with your back arched to the mat. So we've got a little dip in our back, circling it around one direction, followed by the other. And when you're all ready, let's prop ourselves up into downward dog. Our bottoms come up into the air. Feel the stretch through the back of the legs. And gently marching out the feet. Pedaling out those feet. Holding them still. See if you can press yourself a little bit higher, bottom up to the ceiling. Feel the stretch through the legs. When you're ready, drop onto your knees. Let's rock our body forward. We come down to the mat. We press up, stretching through. And coming back into child's pose again. Fingers reaching forward, inhaling, filling the lungs. And exhale. Rolling ourselves up. We're going to kneel with one leg forward. Gently pressing ourselves to the wall. We're not here for long. Trying to feel a stretch through the front of that hip. Let's lift up the same arm. Stretch over, coming down, swapping over, other leg comes up, we lean forward, taking our arm up, stretching over, beautiful. And when you're all ready, let's make our way onto our backs for the beginning of our series this morning. Welcome, Marie. We're just getting started now. I've just finished a little bit of stretching. We're going to start in this position this morning, just practicing our pelvic tilts, squishing our back into the mat, gently drawing that belly in, and then lifting off and feeling the gap in between the mat and your back. Just a few repetitions here. Getting those hips moving separately from our spine. So feeling the range of movement that your hips have as they tilt forward and tilt backwards. Okay, let's move into a bridge now. So when you're all ready, flatten the backs onto the mat. Tailbones lift first. We peel up one vertebrae at a time, peeling down. Going on to our original variation of our bridges, up and down. Really try and squeeze those glutes. We're going to do a few different variations of our bridges this morning. Beautiful. On your next bridge, lowering down, heels come together, toes pointed slightly out, knees out. We're going into our frog bridges. So this is going to Give us a little bit more through the inner thigh. Really squeeze those glutes as much as you can. Press those hips up nice and high. Beautiful work, everyone. On your next bridge, I want you to hold it up. Keep the feet where they are. You're going to draw the heels together, draw the knees together, sorry. Bring them out apart, lower down. So our heels are together, our knees are apart. We draw them in, let them come out and down. You won't be able to get the knees all the way in. They might not touch. That's okay. So it'll be just like a little flutter of the thighs coming together. Keep that bottom up nice and high. Hopefully your bottoms are starting to feel this. We've got just a few more seconds here, so keep going. Moving the feet back to a neutral position when you're ready. Next bridge, feet hip distance apart. Bridge up again, hold it for me this time. So we're lifting the bottom up. We're holding tailbone drawn into belly button. We're going to hold this for 10 seconds. Keep going. We breathe in and out. Little pulses. If you can, little up and down. Squeeze that bottom tight. And relaxing down. Beautiful. Let's bring the arms above our shoulders. We're going to stretch one leg out, opposite arm, and return to neutral, followed by the other side. We want to try and keep things nice and square with this. So our knees are pointing up to the roof, our hips are pointing up to the roof, and so are our fingertips. Concentrate here on being as still as you can. Imagine as if you're lying on a lilo in a pool or in a body of water, and you're doing your best to keep yourself still, avoiding falling into the water. You may wish to move a leg to tabletop, stretch out, bring the fingers back, switch legs in tabletop. So it's a little bit of a progression if you like it. Tabletop, you stretch out, opposite hand and leg, switch. A little bit of coordination needed here. Well done, everyone. And bringing both fingers and feet back to neutral. We're going to lower the arms now, bringing one leg up into tabletop. We're doing little circles, dropping it out to the side and drawing a circle with that knee to bring it back into center. So with this one, again, we're trying to keep the hips where they are in space, avoiding a roll out of the body as that knee draws its circle. This is actually quite hard to control. If you want to challenge this movement a little bit more, then try and stretch that leg out. So you're doing the circles with a straight leg. starting small and then increasing that range only if you can. Well done, everyone. Try and avoid pressing through your arms here to control that body. We want our core to do as much work as possible. When you are ready, let's switch over legs. So all starting with the bent knee, drawing those circles out and back around. Our arms are light on the mat. Beautiful work, everyone. If you're feeling comfortable with that, try straightening out the leg, drawing slightly bigger circles. Keeping those hips parallel to the roof, avoiding rocks of the body. Keep going. We're here for 10 more seconds. And resting the feet in neutral. Well done. Let's bring those arms up above us again, bringing one leg to tabletop and alternating here. One toe touches the mat at a time. If your back doesn't like having both feet in the air at once and you're feeling a strain, then have both feet on the mat, lift one up, return it down, lift the other up, return down. So that's a variation to take, so that only one foot is off the mat at a time. Otherwise, everyone else, tap, 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 tap. We're drawing that belly into the mat. We're trying to keep our backs nice and flat, in contact with the mat the whole time. We're continuing to breathe. Keep that breath flowing. You should feel this one a little bit more through the core than the other exercises. We're here for 10 more seconds. Keep it going. Beautiful, and relaxing down. Well done. Let's go straight into those single leg stretches again. So remember, opposite hand, opposite leg stretching out, returning to center, stretching out through the other side. This is option one. If you want to progress it this time, you're bringing one leg into tabletop position, stretching the other one out, returning, and then switching. Stretch, so you're stretching the leg that remains on the mat. This is a good one for our brain as well. It challenges what we're doing with our body. Good work, everyone. Keep going. If you feel strain through your back at any point during any of these, remember to just go back to variation one. Feet are on the mat and one leg slides out at a time. Beautiful. 3, 2, and 1. Bringing both legs to tabletop, Let's go straight into those scissors, one toe touching at a time. Remember, if you want to regress this, having both legs on the ground and just bringing one knee up, return to the mat, other knee up. Beautiful work, everyone. Reach those fingertips to the roof. Our fingers are directly over our shoulders here. So I'm getting our core firing a little bit more than the others. We've got 30 seconds left here. This is our last exercise on our back. We're then going to roll over and do a little bit of hip work. So keep it up. If you need to regress it at any point in time, you may do so. Keep going for 10 more seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lowering both feet down, arms come down. Rock those knees to the side and rocking to the other side. Beautiful effort. Let's come onto our sides now. In a side lying position, we're going to rest our head on our upper arm. We're making sure our shoulders and hips are directly stacked on top of each other. Bring that leg off of the ground so it's at hip height. We're going to bring that knee into the chest, press it back, little lift up and down. Knee to chest, drawing it back, up and down. So remember, when you do that leg lift, leading with the heel. Our heels are going up to the roof, toes are pointing forward. We're trying to keep our back straight in this position. You might feel a little bit through the abs as we crunch that knee in, and as we lift that leg, trying to feel it predominantly through the glute, through the back of the hip there. Beautiful work. Let's bring those heels together so we can go on to some clam variations. We're going to draw those knees up, bring them together, and then we're lifting the heels up. So knees come apart, knees come together, and then heel lifting off as the knee stays in place. So a bit of external rotation through the hip, and then a little bit of internal rotation. Really try and squeeze that knee as high as you can make it. Hold it at the top for each movement for just a second before releasing down. Squeeze. Squeezing the bottom, trying to feel it through the back of the hips in the bottom. Lifting both heels into the air now. Our knees are going to draw apart from that position. You might like to put your hand on the mat to create a little bit of extra stability. Otherwise, if you feel quite balanced, hand on hip. That way you can feel for what it's doing, trying to control it. If you're feeling like this one's a little bit too hard, just go back to our regular clams with those heels on the mat. We're here for another 40 seconds. Well done, everyone. Keep going. Should start to feel it now through the back of the hip, through the bottom. We're getting those hip stabilizer muscles to work hard. Keep going. 10 seconds left. Don't get lazy. We're still thinking about our form, squeezing those knees at the top. 3, 2, 1, and relaxing down. Little whack of the bottom if you need, giving yourself a massage. Let's roll ourselves over, so we're lying on the other side. Bottom knee is bent, our top leg is straight in line with our hip, and when you are ready, we're drawing the knee into our chest, crunching gently through those core muscles, extending, lifting heel up to ceiling and back down. Good work, everyone. Remember that we're thinking about gently drawing that belly into the spine. We're keeping our backs nice and flat in our neutral spine position. See if you can take that knee just a little bit closer to the chest. Getting those core muscles to work just a little bit more. Good work, everyone. Keep it up. We're here for just a few more seconds. Beautiful. And when you are ready, taking heels and knees together, going into our clams, we draw the knee apart, bring it together, lifting the heel. So both our external rotation clam, knee comes in, and our internal rotation clam. So trying to target different muscles with both movements here. And if you don't need to rest your hand on the mat for balance, then having it on your hip, ensuring that it's staying in place. So avoiding it rolling forward and backwards as we do the movement. Trying to feel it through the back of the hip. If you're not really feeling it there, then try moving your heels a little bit further up closer to you, or maybe a little bit further back. Generally, they should be in line with our hips and shoulders. Okay, and when we are all ready, trying to move those feet into the air, going on to our variation, drawing those heels or those knees up and lowering back down, really squeezing. So this one is a little bit harder for our balance and just changes the area where we are working the muscle. Try and keep the bellies nice and tucked in, backs flat. So if you've got a little bit of a natural curve through your spine, we're just trying to keep those hips in neutral. Squeeze those knees all the way up. Don't let that hip roll back as you do so. So you should start to feel it now through the back of that bottom. Let's keep going for another 10 seconds. Lots of clams this morning. Good work. We're here for 3, 2, and 1. Resting down. Massage out through that bottom. And when you're ready, rolling onto your tummies, we're going to actually press up and come into a 4-point kneel position next. Tucking those toes under, we're going to go into our knee hovers. So when we're all ready, gently lifting the knees off of the mat. Our back is nice and flat. Try and have the shoulders stacked on top of the wrists and hips stacked on top of the knees. We're holding here. Good. See if you can hold for another 10 seconds. Breathing in and out. And resting down back into child's pose. Coming back up straight away. Going into another round of knee hovers. Gently pressing off. Well done, everyone. For 3, 2, and 1. Again, gently coming back into child's pose. Quick little press here. Coming back into our knee hover position for one last time. Bringing those knees off of the mat. Holding for 10 seconds. 3, 2, and 1. Beautiful. Back into child's pose. Let's come onto our bellies when we are ready. So we're going to do our swimming pose here. So what we're going to do is we're going to have our forehead resting on the mat. Take the arms out to the side. We're doing gentle little kicks for 5 and then lifting off and back. So when you lift off, try and get your hands out in front of you. Just a gentle lift of the chest and then coming back to neutral. If you find that quite hard, then just keep your arms where they are by your side and then just try gently peeling the arms off. Even if the chest and the head doesn't lift off, you're still going to be doing good work for your shoulder blades. Gentle little squeeze. As you're doing the kicks, try and squeeze your glutes. Hamstrings are activating. Let's go for 10 more seconds. And resting, beautiful. Let's come up into a cobra or a cobra. Back down and then pressing into child's pose. We're going to repeat a few of these here just to get some movement through our back. So we lower our hips to the mat. We press up into our cobra. We lower back down. We hold our core tight as we press ourselves up into child's pose. Good. As we come back over, hold your core tight again as you lower yourself to the mat. Pressing up, cobra, back down. So a form of dynamic stretching here, where we're continuously moving. Should be quite a good feeling for our backs. Try and keep your core nice and strong as you press yourself off the mat and as you lower it back down. Beautiful. And when you're all ready, meeting me back in our 4-point kneel position. A few more repetitions here of our knee hovers, toes tucking under. We're going to bring those knees off of the mat, holding here. We're doing 3 rounds of these. Holding, and pressing back into child's pose. Just briefly. Coming back to all fours, going into another round, peeling those knees off of the mat. Try and keep your neck in line with the rest of the body. And taking a child's pose. Pressing back onto all fours. 1 more round of the knee hovers, let's go. We're going to try and hold for 20 seconds this time. If that's too tricky, if it hurts any part of your body, going back into child's pose. Keep going for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, and child's pose. Stretching those fingers in front of you. Coming onto your bellies, repeating our swings. So we're doing 5 bottom kicks here. We've got our arms out to our side. Option 1, you do your 5 knee kicks and you just gently peel your shoulders and arms off of the mat, head lifts, resting back down. If you want to make it a little bit harder, then you take your fingers out in front of you and try lifting from that position. Squeeze the glutes as you do those kicks. And try and make them quick. Well done, everyone. Keep going. We're here for 10 more seconds. Really think about drawing those shoulder blades together if you've got your arms by your side. And resting, let's press ourselves up into Cobra, bringing ourselves back down, going into our child's pose again. So our dynamic stretches, rocking forward and back. Remember that we want a straight body as we lower ourselves to the mat. Cobra, pressing up into child's pose. You may do this at your own pace, making it as fast or slow as you like. Don't rush it too much though. You want to feel the benefit of being in every position. This is our last exercise for this morning, so just let your body enjoy it. And remember to keep your core nice and strong as you lower the chest back onto the mat. So we're using the strength through our arms. Beautiful work, everyone. And meeting back into child's pose when everyone's there, finishing off here.